It actually became kind of, it was part of a bigger journey. So um, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, and just quickly for the audience sake, when you've got type 1 diabetes, you are basically operating your body on manual mode. And you have to monitor your inputs and outputs. The best way I can describe it is if you had to figure out how to breathe, um, so that you were breathing enough oxygen all the time. That's what we do, except for we do it with insulin and getting sugar into our system. Well, that really set me backward. And in fact, I spent 10 years just kind of in this dark space of not really, I was still trying to pursue career stuff, but I really didn't have, that my dreams weren't attainable. I felt like everything had shifted. And then my wife, introduced me to, or found this savage race, which was at the time, or survival race, I think it was. And at the time, it sounded like, the worst obstacles that you could ever face. And man, how could you jump over fire? And, the reality was you got out there and it was a 5K with, a couple barrels that you jumped over, and a log that was slightly burning. But at the end of it, I felt like, wow, this is cool. And it didn't really, it didn't dawn on me later until that I noticed, hey, you know what? This is really tying into something that I used to be. I was very energetic. I loved playing in the mud. My preschool had a mud day. Like we made mud pies, and like, it was crawling through the mud and everything else. So suddenly I was thrust back to connecting to something that I used to be. And it was really along that path of obstacle course racing that I found a community that I could embrace, that then led me into the future that I wanted to create. And that's where, along the way I found Don. I got the opportunity to run alongside him. And that's where I kind of got the idea of, well, look, if he can run across Texas, and he can start it by just getting up off the couch and going a little bit further each day, then I can apply the same thing with obstacle course racing. And so I started doing, I did a Tough Mudder one day, and then woke up the next day and did another Tough Mudder. So back to back Tough Mudders. And then eventually I started running multiple laps of the Tough Mudder on the same day. And it led to me gathering this group of diabetics together, and all taking on what is, to me, the crown jewel of obstacle course racing, which is World's Toughest Mudder, which is a 24-hour obstacle course race. And you just do 5-mile laps until you drop, or the clock ends. And so that was pretty exciting. We ended up having five diabetics out on the course together at various times. I think one of us was on the course the entire time throughout the race. And then we had a couple other loved ones with us, and we together ran over 200 miles over that 24-hour period. So pretty exciting.